Hey, great evening, guys. It is forum time in the city of Brownsville, and we are about to start the show. Uh, as of right now, we do have Carlos Elizondo and Eddie Garcia in place seven. We have my opponent and myself for place
All
five,
right.
and Miss Miller is with us tonight. So there'll be actually five, three, four. I'm not good at counting. It's actually five candidates on tonight. So it's going to be interesting. That's for sure.
We are not 1 minute.
Yeah, so we should be starting in 1 minute.
Hola, Lupita. Buenas tardes.
All right, so if you want to,
No sude, Edelmiro.
get a drink or, a glass of water or something, hopefully, yeah. All right, I can see us on here. Great, so I'm going to close that. All right. Well, let's get started. Welcome to the second of two BISD candidate forums hosted by Frontera Progressives. Joining me from Frontera Progressives is Denise Molina Castro, and I am Mark Caswan, one of the co-founders of Frontera Progressives. Frontera Progressives exists really to promote progressive values and to increase awareness, to educate the community, and to provide opportunities for the expression of progressive values in the Rio Grande Valley, and particularly here in the Lower Valley. We were founded in 2017. So we've been doing this kind of stuff for several years, and one of the most important things that we do is voter education. And so I just want to thank everybody who is here for this event and is going to be helping to educate the community about one of the most important institutions in the community, which of course is the school district. And as you are candidates for the school district board, you will be in a very important position with respect to determining the shape and the character of the school district. So we very much appreciate your participating in this event. I'm now going to go over the rules for the event, and then after that, have the candidates introduce themselves. So each candidate will have 2 minutes at the start of the debate to introduce themselves. We will then have a period of questions, and the way that works is that we have kind of a pinwheel device that's like the Wheel of Fortune, and I will spin that to choose the topic for each question. Each of the questions is organized into categories, and so depending on which category is selected, we'll take a question from that category. Denise will be reading the questions for you. All candidates will have 3 minutes to answer the question, and each candidate, each of you will answer the same question. So one question will be put to all 6 analysts. The order of speakers will be different for each question. So I will switch you guys around so that everybody, I don't think with 6 of you, I don't think everybody will get a chance to go first, but we'll be fair and make sure that that we keep that list moving around. So you'll each be in a different order, and I will call on you when it's your turn to speak. Except when it is your turn to speak, please mute your microphone, or if I need to, I will mute it for you. As the moderator and the host of the Zoom session, I will have the ability to mute you if you go on too long. I will give you warnings to let you know when your time is coming due.
Right there.
And I won't cut you off mid-sentence, but I ask that you please respect our rules and stick to the time constraints. We don't want this to be like the Biden-Trump debate, or frankly, like the vice presidential debate last night, where we saw people, or certainly one of the candidates, going on too long repeatedly. Finally, each candidate will have 2 minutes for a closing statement, and that's where you can make a general statement about why you're the best candidate for the seat. We expect all of you to be civil and to respond directly to the questions that are asked. While you may refer to other candidates, like you could say, you know, unlike so-and-so, I think teachers should be given magic wands, you may not engage in direct attacks on other candidates. Candidates who violate the rules will be muted and will not be able to respond to any of the other questions. All right? So with that, I will start allowing the candidates to introduce themselves. And we will start with Carlos Elizondo. The first 2 candidates tonight are position 7. So Carlos Elizondo, why don't you take 2 minutes to introduce yourself?
Sure. Thank you for the opportunity to come out here today. My name is Carlos Elizondo. I'm 48 years old. I lived in the city of Brownsville my entire life. I have a beautiful wife who works at the school district and 3 daughters that have been at BISD. 2 of them are already graduated. I still have 1 in middle school. The reason I'm running here is that I think there needs to be some change. I think the current leadership and the current board has done a dismal attempt in controlling this district. And not only that, we've been able to figure out, especially with this COVID-19, who our true leaders are. And that is one of the big reasons that I'm running, is to make sure that there is true leadership on the board and guide this BISD boat that we call the Titanic into the right direction. Like I said, my biggest interest here is to make sure that all teachers and all staff get the respect they deserve again. Not only that, but through compensation as well, especially the health insurance. And make sure that they go back to the home where it's safe instead of at the school where it's not safe, and there is no guarantee of safety there. Like I said, I am here, I have been here, and I will continue to be here. I have nowhere else to go other than to move forward and push this district in the right direction. Again, my name is Carlos Elizondo, place number 7.
All right, thank you very much. Next is also with position 7, Eddie Garcia.
He's muted.
Mr. Garcia, hold on a sec. You need to unmute yourself.
It's the unmute button.
So that's in the lower left corner.
Lower left corner, the lady. Leg. Come on, leg. Unmute, leg.
You're
Come on.
there. There you go.
Nene.
All right. So if you please introduce yourself.
My name is Eddie Garcia. I am a Brownsville resident. My family and myself are, we are BISD products. My wife has since retired after teaching for 29 years with the school district. I have no personal vested interest. My interest is in the betterment of our community, our school district, our educators, staff, and most importantly, our children, which they are our future. That's going to be the most important thing. For over 30 years, I have served our nation and our country, and this is something that I want to continue doing, being a public servant. Again, after 32 years, I retired as a police officer, and I was honorably discharged from the United States Air Force. I have been serving in other boards, to include a National Advisory Council on Health Center, on healthcare. So all these things that I have dealt with have dealt with local, state, and federal funding, so I am aware with these things. Currently, I have served on the BISD Board Place 2 for the past 7 months, and after November 3rd, I expect to serve for the next 4 years. Thank you.
All righty, thanks very much. And we will now go to the two candidates for position 5, and we'll start with Mr. Erasmo Castro.
Well, thank you first to Frontera Progressives for holding this forum. You know, forums are important because it is via forums that a wide variety of individuals out there in the community have an opportunity to hear from the candidates and to see what what they're made of and what their platform is. I've lived all my life in the city of Brownsville. I grew up. I went to public school. Went to Webb, Cromac, Rosal Castillo, Cummings, then Porter. I have a bachelor's degree in Christian Studies from Austin Graduate School of Theology. I serve as an assistant minister at Iglesia de Cristo, which I've been a member of for, I would say, almost all my life, and a proud servant of the city of Brownsville. In my time here in the city of Brownsville, I've had the opportunity to serve our community in different aspects in regards to a lot of the concerns that they share. One of the reasons why I'm opting to run for BISD board again is because, as has been mentioned, our district is in trouble. And if our district is in trouble, it means that our community is in trouble. Our district has been riddled with failed leadership, not only from administration, from the superintendent to his deputy superintendents to the AAs, but also by a very non-proactive board that is serving at this time. And, our community yearns for something different. It yearns for relief. It yearns to have their concerns voiced out. It yearns to have individuals on there that will actually listen and will take action in regards to the things that are, pressing to them. One of the things that has been lost on this board is that the board is there to serve the people, not to be expecting the people to be serving the board. So it is my hope that the community will join in the movement and bring back Erasmo Castro for place 7. Place 5.
All right, thank you very much. The next candidate is also running for position 5, and that is Daniela Lopez Valdez. Daniela, you may still be muted. There you go.
Thank you, Frontera Progressives, for inviting me to be part of this forum. My name is Daniela Lopez Valdez, and I am your candidate for BISD Trustee Place 5. I am running because I believe our students, teachers, and staff deserve the best leadership, leaders who serve on the basis of honesty and integrity, and are role model citizens in our community. I understand the importance of education and the impact that BISD has on Brownsville's future. My mom has been a teacher for BISD for 36 years, and I have seen the challenges our teachers and staff have faced during this pandemic. Since a young age, I developed a strong work ethic while working at Lopez Food Store, cleaning the shelves, to holding rigorous internships in college while still maintaining excellent grades and giving back to my community. A week after graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Marketing and Economic Sociology at Southern Methodist University, I started my career at JCPenney Corporate. I was the youngest leader in my position by 30 years and was chosen to oversee a marketing budget accounting for $1.1 billion of retail and e-commerce revenue. That's twice the size of BISD's budget. I have successfully led teams of individuals of all backgrounds to collectively collaborate and work effectively, and have led my own marketing consulting company. I have served my community by being a recent graduate of Leadership Brownsville Class 35, a member of Connect BTX, which is an organization developed to help bridge the digital divide, and Blue Turtle Project, an environmental group that aims to collect ocean plastic and educate the community while creating microeconomies. I believe that my strong work experience, my ability to effectively lead teams, and my passion for giving back will be an asset to the BISD community. Thank you.
All right, thanks very much. I just want, before we go on to our first question, I just want to mention all of the candidates for the BISD race were invited. There are 14 candidates in all. All of them were invited. We sent everyone at least one email. Some of them we sent multiple emails to. We sent Facebook text messages. If the email addresses didn't work, again, multiple times. Some did not reply. Some declined to participate. So everybody was given absolutely the same notice, the same opportunity to be a part of this. Some chose either failed to respond or chose not to participate. And I, you know, viewers can take what they want from that. So now we'll go on to our first question, and let me just bring up.
To introduce myself?
Oh, Miss Miller.
Oh my goodness, I am so sorry. I thought I had done that. My
That's all right,
apologies.
Doc.
Position 3, Argelia Miller.
Yes. My name is Argelia Miller. A lot of people know me by Miss Miller. I am a retired Air Force. I'm also a retired, well, I took a leave of absence from the federal government. I work in Internal Revenue and Social Security and the Naval Postgraduate School. We moved here, the family, in 2000, and we were supposed to be here for 3 years. But again, we drank the Brownsville water and we decided to stay here and retire here and live here. So I am not going to go anywhere. The reason that I'm running is because since I am already retired and I have the core values of the Air Force, which is integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. And I want to include transparency. We always try, whenever there's a change of things, or like a pandemic, or any wars or things that happen, catastrophes, we always adapt and overcome. And in doing so, I am trying to find out when will Brownsville Independent School District will learn to adapt and overcome, in the sense that they can go ahead and reroute and try to be proactive or have a plan. And it is my opinion that because I don't see Brownsville Independent School District having a plan of how to take care of the employees, the staff, I went ahead and put my name in there. Again, my name is Argelia Miller. Everybody knows me by Miss Miller. I am a retired, so I am here to serve the community. My telephone number, if you allow me within my 3 minutes, is 210-269-9999. My other phone is 956-908-0084. And my email is millerarge@gmail.com. I have to be more cautious of the spam folder because a lot of things go to the spam folder and I have to check that. With the family, all I can say is just that my kids are gone and grown. They are serving in the armed forces, and my youngest one at 22, 23, he's already working on his doctor of pharmacy. Jonathan Miller, he is in San Antonio working on his doctor of pharmacy at the early age of 23 years old. So for that, that's all I can tell you about me. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity, Frontera Progressive, to be here and express and give my platform.
That's a great
Thank you.
answer.
Okay, thank you very much. And again, my apologies for missing you there. You were a late addition to the group. So, okay, well, at this point, we will go to our picker wheel. Take me just a moment to get to that. All right. And now we'll give that a spin. That'll determine which category we're going to use. And it is from our other category. Great. All righty. So now coming back here, and as a matter of fact, Ms. Miller, we'll have you answer, give the first response. You have 3 minutes.
In the 3 minutes, this was the question, Doc.
Oh, geez. I am sorry. I guess, Denise, you need to read the question.
I'm going to read the question. Please let me know if you need me to repeat the question. Okay, so the question is, what do you think the role of the parents should be in schools? What do you think the role of the parents should be in schools? Do you think there should be more involvement, less involvement, or is it good this way? If you think there should be more participation, what changes would you make to bring that about?
I have been a parent of my kids. They have attended public school. And of all the teachers that had my kids, I've always knew before that school started and send them a real nice thank you small plant. I always, my kids were in Ituria Elementary, I was always in the student parent center. I was a volunteer at the Porter High School, and I was manning the community, like the parent center there. So with that in mind, I strongly recommend
someone's writing the answer for her.
We have parent
Someone's writing the
coordinators
answer
in
for
each
her.
entity of
Look
the
at
Browns
me.
Independent School District.
Someone's
Those
writing the
should
answer for her.
encourage the parents, the grandparents,
Look at the
to
eyes.
go ahead and participate and be
What
more
should I say?
active in the
What should I
community.
say?
I know that some schools, and I'm not even going to mention names, but some schools, they want the parents to be, they require or request the parents to be
okay,
more
girl.
active. And I know that because
should I
here
say? What
where we
should I
are in the
say?
Rio Grande Valley, some children
Look at the
living
eyes,
with their
guys.
grandma, and some children
at
are from a
those
single
eyes.
parent. But I know when there's a will, there's a way for a parent to be involved and to be appreciative of the teacher and the
Yeah.
Browns Independent School District entity.
Getting the answer written for her.
And that's my answer.
Come on, Danielle. Someone writing
You're
the
muted,
answer.
Mark. You're muted.
I'm sorry, it's been a long day. Mr. Castro, it's your turn.
Well, let me tell you, there is nothing more important than the cooperation between our parents and our staff. One of the things that I think makes BISD as strong as it is, and actually before this administration and before the individuals that are sitting on the board right now, it's what made our district an A district. It was the amazing staff that we have on hand, and also the amazing parents that dedicate a lot of their time to the educational process of our students. I was very, very blessed to be on the board and to experience how parents would be concerned about not only the fine arts programs, not only the sports, but also very, very concerned in regards to the academics. One of the things that we attempted to foment is that culture of constant participation between parents and educators. And it is very important, to have that relationship, especially because a lot of our teachers out there, they have classrooms where they have upwards of 22, 23 students per class. So you have to have that cooperation. You have to have that parental involvement. Unlike a lot of individuals who attend, or have attended private school, private school, it's a little bit different than public school. Private school, you'll have a lot of classrooms where the ratio is a lot smaller. So you'll have more teacher participation in regards to their interactions with their students. Public school doesn't have all those perks that a lot of the private schools have. And you have to really delve into the classroom to understand, comprehend, the struggles that our educators have in regards to the ratios. But we are very, very blessed in the city of Brownsville to have the culture where parents are very, very involved. And one of the things that I've learned is that when you have a parental involvement in regards to the academics, when the parents are out there in the evenings, when they sit down at the table and ask the students, what did you learn today? What did the teacher say? What involvement you have? It builds that culture. One of the things that I would do to continue is, probably offer more PTA opportunities to our folks out there, to whereas they have a more direct line of contact, not only with the educators and principals, but also with the people that are sitting at the Glass Palace. One thing that has been lacking has been the feedback coming back from our superintendent, the AA superintendents, because they seem not to be able to respond to a lot of the concerns of our public.
Mark, you're muted again.
I'm trying to be a good citizen, and yet, anyway. So next is Daniela Lopez Valdez, please.
If anything that we've learned during this pandemic is the importance of parent participation. It is crucial that we continue to foster this relationship with our staff and teachers. If anything, teachers are more appreciative than ever because parents now understand what teachers have to do. And I believe that clear communication during a pandemic and uniformity during this is extremely important because it takes a village, it takes teamwork. Our students need a support system, and in collaboration with the teachers and the parents, we can create a better education environment for our students. I believe that, yesterday I was Tuesday, I was at the board meeting, and there was a single mom who came on and expressed her concerns about being in the parent-teacher conferences. And she's a single mom. She has different kids in different grades, and she had to attend Zoom conferences, and they were all there was 3 of them at the same time. And so I believe that it is so important that we make sure that we address the parents' needs, especially right now. It should have been thought of before, and I think that it was important that the student who came forth to express her concerns about the stresses that it involved for her to have her mom have to not attend all of her teacher sessions because she was doing so well and she wanted her mom to be proud of her. I think it's important that we continue to listen to them and let the students and the teachers know that the students and the parents know that they should be able to voice their opinion and work together with the staff to provide better solutions.
Okay, thank you very much. Our next speaker will be Mr. Garcia, Eddie Garcia.
Little Eddie Garcia, 312.
Well, parental involvement has always and will always be very important. We are in different times, and more than any other time, this is where we need the participation of parents. It's extremely important that they are there for their children. Unfortunately, many of them have to go to work, and there's different platforms, different formats in which education is being performed. And so the communication is extremely important, and we have to look at what point, teachers are going to stop on their daily work. Unfortunately, looking back at my wife, who was teaching before during the early stages of the pandemic. There were times that I stayed up with her until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning working. And this is something that we definitely need to look into and have our parents work with the teachers, address whatever issues, and see how this can work. Something that I have addressed to administration is that we need to sit back and look at what has transpired through this period of time and get with the teachers and look what has worked and what has not worked, and also get feedback from the parents to see how we can better this education. Again, this is something that we have not gone through at any time. So this is here for some time still that we're going to be going through this pandemic. So definitely it's something that we're going to have to work together. And again, we need to get the parents involved and teachers involved and bring it forward so that we can take a look at this so that we can continue. Because once again, the foremost and most important thing here is the education and the well-being, of course, of the teachers at school.
All right, thank you very much. And we will finish up with Mr. Elizondo.
Yes, thank you.
I know. You start with
My opponent says communication is number one. Yes, it is number one. They failed to communicate to the district employees and the parents what plan they have in place. At this moment in time, they have no plan in place. You know, little Eddie says that, you know, we need to communicate, we need to do this, we need to do that. But right now, as we stand, teachers, parents, BIZ employees as a whole have no plan in place to know what's going to happen tomorrow. Communication has failed with this current board. Now he says teachers stop working at 3 o'clock in the morning. He's seen it, yet he refuses to make sure that that plan includes the stoppage of the work that needs to be done or does not need to be done. In this case, this pandemic has created a huge mess, but it falls back on our leaders who have failed to put that plan in place and to actually put a plan to the individuals who are actually there at the school right now. Not only the parents. So yes, the parents is huge, right? But if you don't have a plan in place for teachers to be able to follow, how do you expect your parents to be able to go in there and say, okay, teacher, what are we going to my child? How are we going to get the most education to them, whether it be distance learning or whether it be face-to-face? We have none. This current board has not put a plan in place. You know, yeah, and then like my opponent says, Eddie says, you know what? Let's look into it. Well, you know what? He sat there. He's been looking into this since the pandemic started, and there has been no plan in place. How much more are we going to look into it? You know, we don't need to sit back like he's mentioned right now. Those are his words. We do not need to sit back in the back seat and let the superintendent move it forward. He should be the leader that was appointed there to do the right thing. He has refused to look into it. He has refused to look at his wife working till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. So he has first-hand knowledge of what our teachers are going through and the stress that it's put on them. Not only does it put the stress on the parents, but it also puts the stress.
Mr. Elizondo, I just want to remind you of the rule that you agreed to, which is no direct attacks on other candidates.
It's not a direct attack on him. It's a direct attack. It's a blanket. It's on the administration itself. So I'll refrain from saying any. So the administration has failed with the current board to be able to set these plans in place to make sure that there is some stipulations there so that these teachers and these parents have a direct line of being able to know how and when these kids are going to get educated. And so we look at it and says, take a look at what people are doing. People are dying in the district because of the failed leadership of the superintendent. And because of the failed superintendent's leadership, it reflects back on the whole board.
All right, thank you very much. We'll now go to our next question. And so we'll spin the big wheel.
Ay, me muero. Other!
Okay, so Denise, if you want to pick another question from the other category.
Yes, the next question is, one problem with the BASD Board of Trustees meeting is that very often trustees will start a topic and then wander off to speak about other topics. How would you change this and to ensure that you're up to speed and that all the agendas all the meetings on the agenda are covered and more can be accomplished?
All righty. I hope everyone was able to get that. I know there was a little problem with the sound there. If you need us to repeat the question, don't hesitate to let us know. We'll start out with, excuse me?
Is that because in the board, they go off topic and stay longer?
Yes.
Yes, so the question is, the board goes off topic when it comes to items on the agenda, and then the agenda items don't get covered. So what do you think about that, and what will you do to ensure that, you know, the board is able to go through all the agenda and be more effective?
Okay, thank you. Daniela Lopez Valdez, you'll start us off here.
Hi, so I believe that,
Aye.
yesterday I was sitting in a meeting and it was extremely long, but I
Tuesday.
think that it's extremely important that all board members read the agenda. I know yesterday's was 1,000 pages long, and I know they do get in advance. And I think that these questions should be addressed ahead of time. You should be able to answer you should be able to reach out to anybody who you have questions on and address those. And any topic that doesn't apply to what is on the agenda should not be discussed. I think that we need to make sure that we work together to make sure we stay on topic. There's extremely important issues that we're dealing with. I think that it's easy to get off topic with everything going on now, but we need to make sure that we deal with everything. There's a lot of people who do go to the meetings, and it's important that we do stay on topic. I know it's a huge district and there is a lot of issues involved, but these agenda items need to be discussed, and people need to ask the questions ahead of time.
All right, very well. For the next person, Mr. Elizondo, Carlos Elizondo, please.
Sure, can you repeat the question? It was a little off on my side, please.
Yes, of course. So the question is, one of the problems with the BISD Board of Trustees meetings is that very often trustees will start on one topic and then they wander off to speak for a while on other topics. How would you change this to make sure that meetings come up to speed and the items on the agenda are addressed?
I think again, it starts again with the board. The board has to make sure that there's a directive to all members there, especially the president, because the president is the one that has the gavel, make sure that the meeting is following the agenda. Now it's her responsibility, as it is every member that's on there, to make sure that she is held accountable to have these meetings according to the way they've been written. And also to make sure that they minimize the time that they speak. If they're going off topic like they do most of the times, I mean, it's happened when I was there, it's to be able to redirect them to make sure they go back to on topic. But also you need to have an attorney who's competent enough to make sure that they follow those Robert's Rules of Order. And that's the issue here. A lot of the individuals, especially now, don't even know what Robert's Rules of Orders is. So make sure that they understand, read them, and even if you have to test them, and then apply Robert's Rules of Order to every meeting accordingly, and then you wouldn't have these issues. Also, the consent agendas should be that. They should be a consent agenda. Every board member should do their homework. Board members should not go in there thinking that they voted on something that they didn't vote on. You know, especially when you have a lot of money being involved throughout all the districts, business. So they have to be aware of what they're going to vote for on, and not sit there and say, you know what, hey, I voted for something or I didn't vote for something. And make sure that you're in tune before you come into that meeting. Get yourself educated, because they give you plenty of time to do that. It's just, it comes down to every individual there to take the responsibility of reading the agenda and make sure they follow it. Those agendas should not be longer than 3 hours, depending on what it is. And if they do, they need to have the responsibility to say, you know what, I need to be held accountable just like every individual in the audience is there, especially the employees. The employees go in there at 7 in the morning, and then these agendas, because they are, and because the way they're being, followed, last 6, 7, 8 hours. Can you imagine these employees having to sit through a board meeting for 8 hours and then having to come back again the next morning? By all means, Robert's Rule of Order would take care of that. But you have to have yourself, as a responsible board member or trustee, and hold the president accountable to make sure that those agenda items are being followed, and making sure that they get the time that they need, and not excessive, lollygagging and talking about personal experiences and because I was, this and I felt this way. Doesn't matter. Business is business. Make sure it's done, and get out there. Make sure your employees go back to work the next morning refreshed.
All right, thank you very much. Our next speaker will be Argelia Miller. Ms. Miller, you need to unmute yourself. You're still muted. Ms. Miller, I muted you. need to unmute. You're still muted. In the lower left corner is a button. Click on the button on the lower left corner that says unmute.
Mute.
Muted. If you just press the space bar on your keyboard, it will temporarily unmute you. Just press the space bar on your keyboard and it will temporarily there you go.
I understand the question. Let me go ahead and less than 3 minutes tell you what I know. It is my opinion because I had been with some board members at 7 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. BISD used to have a mail runner. I don't know if they have it now. They will call the Brownsville Independent School District trustees and say, where are you at? They will deliver them a big envelope of manila with a floppy diskette, and they will have from that Friday to Saturday to Sunday to be knowledgeable because we are servants. Then by Monday, if it's still the thing that they're doing, they will go ahead and go on lockdown, the board of trustees or especially the superintendent, and they will know what exactly they will be talking about or what exactly they will be going on or what exactly, it was going to happen on the Tuesday. Maybe it was just a rehearsal again. It's only my opinion. So by the time that you go into that meeting, and with my military career, everything has to fall on the big boss. Whoever is the president cannot be rambling on and try to listen themselves on and on and on. The other thing is, just like right here, we have Dr. Kaswan, we should have a moderator or all of the board of trustees right now to say, let's stay on point, let's stay on point, let's stay on point. And with that, I can just say that so far, nobody from the board attorney, nobody from whoever is right there, if you fall off of the focus points, it is our duty as servants of the voters and the community to say we're falling off point. So that is my answer.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, Erasmo Castro.
Well, thank you for the question. Let me say that, the major responsibility in regards to having the agenda flow is the board president. And unfortunately for us, we have been plagued by a board president that has no concept, no clue in regards to what is going on the agenda. And I agree with some things that have been said already. The asking of constant questions and trying to get more information and having documents being brought into the meeting are what makes the meetings that should only last 3 hours actually last sometimes up to 8 to 10 hours. It's really uncalled for. And a lot of the times they'll have a lot of our students come in for recognitions. And, a lot of our students have to wait there while there's a circus going on in the boardroom, because there's constant fighting, there's constant debating, there's constant knicker-knacking here and there and everywhere. And it's just a very, very unfortunate for our students to see who go to the boardroom in order to get recognition. They must remain on topic. We do receive the agenda on Friday. It gives us a whole weekend to prepare, to go over, to make notes, to study. And it gives us a whole 2 days to go in and ask different departments in regards to what's going on. It is something that the current board has failed to do. And because they have not done it, they constantly go off topics. And look, guys, there has never been a time in the history of BISD that we have needed some form of leadership. We are wanting of leadership coming from the individuals that currently sit on this board. Look at the safety of our children, the safety of our staff, the safety of our community has been placed in their hands, and they have been found wanting. They have failed our community. They have constantly placed our teachers, our staff, our students in harm's way. And I'll give you an example. They've been bringing in individuals throughout the summer, and we've had individuals pass away. And at the current board meetings, instead of spending a little bit of time in regards to acknowledging the individuals who have passed away from coronavirus, from COVID-19, they have as of yet neglected to even mention that COVID-19 is even present throughout the district. With that said, because of the extension that we had to file through TVEA, we finally found out the truth. And it was only because of the request for the extension that we found out that we have had 11 individuals who have passed away. Guys, there's a lot of things that have been going on at the board meetings that really uncalled for. Individuals fighting over the attorney's position, individuals not standing with other board members when there had to be some type of work done. Even a board member had to be escorted home on Tuesday because of the unethical behavior of the board attorney, and not one single board member except Ms. Laura Perez Reyes stood up to fight.
Great, thank you very much. And now, Mr. Garcia, Eddie Garcia.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear? Okay.
Yes.
Well, you know what? I've like I said, I've only been there for the past 6-7 months, and from what I've heard from previous years, my understanding is that these meetings would go on past to 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, because apparently there was discussions that would really go off topic. I don't know exactly what they're talking about being off topic here. One previously just mentioned that there was an incident regarding the discussion of the board attorney. Well, that item was on the agenda, so there was a discussion regarding that. Then this thing about right now mentioning about Laura Perez Reyes, that she stood up. I don't know what it is that he's talking about. During the meeting, there was nothing about standing up about her. She has been vocal regarding the board attorney, but what he's talking about standing up and that she was the only one, don't know where he's getting his information, but moving on. Again, some of these meetings, yes, they have gone long. For example, the one that happened this last meeting. And the reason why they went long, if you have noticed, there has been a change in the way the meetings are held. Now, all the recognitions are being done first to make sure that anybody that is recognized is make sure that they get to go home early. There was one incident earlier in the year that, yes, there was a delay in that. And that's why there was that change of the agenda, which I'm glad that took place. I am not happy with the way the system works. I don't agree that getting the packet on Friday is sufficient time to be able to review those packets. Luckily, I am retired and I have the time that I do not have to work anymore. So my work now is the BISD board, having that time to review those packets. And the reason why I don't agree with the way all this has been said is because, again, you get the packet on Friday, you have the weekend, but what if you have the weekend? You know, you can request any additional information.
You should already
until
know the
Monday.
subject
So you
matter,
get the information
imbecile.
on Monday, and now all you have,
God.
a few hours before the meeting on Tuesday. So this is something that definitely we're going to have to take a look at when the new board comes into place, which I will be part of.
No, you won't.
Okay, thank you very much. And now we will go to another spin of the wheel.
No plan, no answer. I don't know what he's talking about. No answer. COVID-19.
Okay, I want to say it's 7:15, about 7:17. So what I want to do is, as we discussed before, for this round, you will just have 2 minutes to give your responses. And that way we'll still have time to go through one final question and then your closing statement. Okay? So we'll start with Mr. Garcia, Eddie Garcia.
Okay, so the question is, virtual,
thank you, Denise.
Virtual learning has had its pros and cons. One of
Look
the
at
most
Daniela,
talked
look at
about
Daniela's eyes.
disasters of BISD
Look at her
was
eyes.
the ability of both Wi-Fi hotspots and electronic devices for online learning. Do you believe that every student should have access to free electronic devices and Wi-Fi hotspots? If elected, will you ensure that every student has these resources available year-round and in the future?
Look at her eyes. Look at her eyes. Look at her
Okay,
eyes.
and we'll start with Mr. Garcia.
Look at her eyes.
Yes, thank you. Well, one of the things is, this is not a disaster. This is not something that was expected, okay? And this is not a local issue. This is a nationwide
Good
issue.
joke.
That school districts nationwide do not have enough hotspots,
No.
internet, or
No.
technology for that matter. So it's something that nobody was prepared for. So
You
it's
weren't
not a
prepared
BISD as some people are going to try to make this as a BISD issue. Look around you.
It is a
Look at
BISD
any
issue.
school district around you, whether it be here in the
Look
valley,
at
the
Adriana's
state,
eyes.
or
Look up,
the
girl.
nation. These school districts are facing the same things.
Oh,
Hotspots, you were only having so many, and everybody started ordering hotspots at the same time. So therefore,
That's the
there has
problem.
been a shortage of hotspots. There is a shortage of technology. And again, this
at Daniela's
concern
eyes. Look
is
at
not
Daniela's
for
eyes.
everyone. There's a lot of learning that is being lost as a result of distance
Look at
learning.
it. Give me the answer
Everybody
here.
learns differently. But at the current time, yes, this
Look
is
at
the
the eyes.
best
Look at
thing
the
that we
eyes.
can do to offer distance learning for our children, because we do have to take care of them.
Oh my
And again,
God.
having to go back, I know somebody's going to bring it up, that why are we sending children back to school? Well, you know what? Government is saying you have to open up or you will lose funding. You lose funding,
No.
you lose your payroll. You lose payroll, guess what? You're going to have to,
No.
unfortunately,
No.
have
No.
to lay off people.
No.
But
No.
again, this is not a local problem.
No.
It's a
No.
valley-wide,
No.
statewide, nationwide problem.
She's reading the answers. No. Give it to me next. Give it to me next.
Okay, thanks very much. The next one will be Daniela Lopez.
Look, reading.
I believe that it is extremely crucial that we bridge the digital divide. Brownsville is one on the top two cities in the United States who are the worst connected cities. I believe that is extremely important that we do not just seek short-term solutions, but we seek long-term solutions. And that is affordable broadband citywide for everyone. I'm a member of the Connect BTX team, and I've been part of this. I've been passionate about this issue before COVID started because there is a lot of issues. There was actually a valedictorian who, before COVID happened, who basically would go to McDonald's to get her Wi-Fi. So this is an issue that has been around, and COVID just heightened it. And it is important that we do not get behind on this. We need to continue to work with our local entities. Currently, there is a partnership with Lit Communities who's working with the city to make sure that we look into the infrastructure. There is a survey out there right now to test everything, to test the internet going on in order for us to make sure that this is a long-term
There's not enough time to answer everything.
Hey, shut up.
Sorry. Am I supposed to
Shut up, little lady.
keep going?
Shut up, little lady.
I apologize. I'm not really.
We're gonna be muting candidates if you unmute yourself, and we're gonna kick you out of the forum. So please give the candidates a chance to. You were not interrupted during your question, so please give her the time. Ms. Lopez Valdez will go ahead and add some time to your question. So you can answer your question.
So basically what I'm trying to say is that we have to find a long-term solution and work with the local entities like Lit Communities to provide this. I believe that they have worked really hard to make sure that that everybody has a hotspot. As of Tuesday, it's my understanding that anybody who did request, any parent who requested a hotspot has been filled with a hotspot as of now. And I know that the buses were great short-term solutions. However, it is hot. It is hard to make sure that these buses have a 300 diameter. So it is important that we find a long-term solution, which I believe is widespread broadband, free, affordable for everybody. Thank you.
All right, thanks very much. The next person will be Carlos Elizondo.
Should I start?
Elizondo?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you one thing. It's very difficult to sit here and listen, right? And I have to say this, it's rampant throughout the district right now. Leadership has failed every student and every educator in BISD. You know, like my opponent said, or Mr. Garcia said, this is not a disaster. I want you to tell those individuals that have lost their life if it's not a disaster to them. I couldn't. It's not a local issue, but we are a local entity. We are the LEA, the local education agency that's responsible to make sure that every child, every educator has either a Wi-Fi spot or a computer or some electronic device so that they can do this online learning or distance learning in the safety of their home. Current board, current superintendent has failed to order the adequate devices, has failed to make sure that they should have started this back in March. That is a true leader. A true leader sees the opportunity and grasps and makes sure that their intent is to make sure that every child and every educator gets the most highest quality education. And in this day and age, it's in distance learning. It's at home. That's a safety. Now, nobody was prepared. Nobody was prepared. That doesn't mean that you throw your hands up in the air and you dig your head in the dirt. That would be someone who's not prepared, who's someone that's not forthright and looking into the future. If you would have seen the trends that are coming in from where this coronavirus came from, you would understand that they started preparing. That's what we should have started preparing. Again, everybody has ordered the supplies. We know now there's like 6,000 computers and devices that are still left behind. So that's why it's forcing this current administration to force these kids back to the district inside this place to make sure that they get the education they deserve.
Okay, thanks very much. And now Ms. Argelia Miller.
Mute!
Ms. Miller, you are muted. You need to unmute. And at this point, you're losing time.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you very much. I'll be brief with this question. All I can say is just I'm going to start by this, that I do not want, my opinion, for the students, nor the teachers, nor the employees to come back or the staff to come back to Browns Independent School District because it's not safe. And I do want to reiterate, yes, it is true, BISD is a business. We will lose budget, we will lose business, we will lose this, we will lose that. But what is more important than a life? San Antonio Independent School District says, you know what? We're not going back. Sue us. If Brownsville Independent School District is $600 and something million budget, close to ballpark. If it's close to that, and if he has a whole bunch of attorneys, or the attorney that he has, and all the other additional attorneys, and all the contract attorneys, why cannot be concerned about the safety of the staff, the teachers, the students, the parents that go and drop their kids, and make sure that they are safe with this pandemic that we have now? We have known since January, February of the things that was happening worldwide. How come we were not, react and have a plan then and figure out, well, let's go ahead and order these, let's go ahead and something. I'm talking about a Brownsville Independent School District that used to be the cream of the crop in all the Rio Grande Valley. And right now we're just following very little small entities of ideas, and we're being proactive in trying to figure out how we're going to react to this with the expired sanitizers, with the masks that they haven't gotten, with the compensation plans. How are we going to help the students, and how can we go ahead and make this safe?
Okay, thank you very much.
Leadership. It all amounts to leadership.
Thank you. And we'll now have Erasmo Castro.
Well, thank you for the question. I agree with a lot that has been said. Let me tell you guys, the board has failed us. if we would have been following the trends, we had actually done the homework that we were supposed to be doing instead of knickknacking around on the board, we would have known that the coronavirus was coming our way, and we would have been better prepared. We weren't better prepared, and everyone has failed us. Not only the individuals that are sitting on the board right now, but also the individuals who used to be a part of BTX Connect. I mean, couldn't they have prepared better for all this that was coming down our way? Of course they could. The city of Brownsville failed us. Cameron County, as a county, failed us. They failed our students. And because of their failure, because of the sitting board members, as was mentioned already, people died. People who were going onto campus passed away because this board, this administration was not proactive in regards to ordering the proper hotspots, the proper Chromebooks, the proper iPads that they should have been ordering back in March and April, when everything was pointing to this trend coming down, coronavirus hitting our area. But no, they were still going back and forth in regards to the nickels and dimes. The nickels and dimes, that's what they were concerned with. Even to this day, sending back individuals on campus, the only thing that they talk about, I mean, it was mentioned in right now. Oh, well, the money. It's all about the money. Why is it always about the money? It shouldn't be about the money. It should be about our people. It should be about our students. It should be about our staff. And it's irritating because, yes, people have died. People have tested positive. We've had to close down campuses. We've had to close down different departments. And what has the board been doing right now? Nothing whatsoever. Nothing whatsoever. And then they say, oh, well, people are just being negative and they're misinformation and they're not coming together. No, our community is upset. Our community is scared, is anxiety ridden. They don't even know how many of our teachers are frustrated, are feeling the pressure coming not only from students, but also from parents. They failed us then. They failed us now. They'll continue to fail us in the future.
Thank you, Mr. Castro. So we'll now have, we have actually reached 7:30. I wanted us to have a chance to have a one last question because
we've got more time.
We wanted to make sure that we would have at least 3 questions that you answered. So we're going to go for, I'm hoping that all of you will be willing to stick around another few minutes,
yes,
so that we can just have your closing statements.
Oh.
So we'll start with Mr. Castro, Erasmo Castro. You have 2 minutes for a closing statement.
Look, guys, current administration has failed our district. The individuals that have been on the board have been self-serving. One of the things that is most important for any of us to do, the money was spoken about tonight. And the money, is important. But the money is important because you need to make sure that the individuals who are running for board right now actually have a vested interest in what is in the true nature, the true worries, the true concerns of our community. Look at the campaign finance reports. Look at the individuals that have had thousands upon thousands of dollars placed into their accounts. Who are these people going to be beholden to? Thousands of dollars being placed into candidates' campaign finance reports into their pockets in order to boost their campaign to win a seat on the board. Guys, if individuals who are receiving money from vendors get an opportunity to sit on the board, they will serve their master. They will serve the money. They will serve the vendors. It's very unfortunate other individuals have received money from vendors and have failed to report them. That is just wrong. But you know what, guys? At the end of the day, it's all about the voters. It's all about the people coming out and, really expressing their angst, their anxiety, their frustration with the inactivity of this current board who has failed the community, who has placed the life of our children and our staff in danger, and they don't care. You have the last word. You have the last word this November the 3rd. Starting October the 13th through the 30th, you have the option to go into that polling area, into that booth, and do not bring anyone that is currently sitting on the board back on the board. Guys, I am the only choice in place 5 because I am the only individual out there that has not sold their soul and sold their people to vendors like my opponent has.
Sorry, the next speaker is Ms. Argelia Miller. And you need to unmute yourself.
Got it.
There you go.
Thank you very much. My name is Argelia Miller, and I'm a retired Air Force. I'm also a federal employee. All I can tell you right now is just that I'm literally
her eyes.
retired.
Look at
I'm
her
here
eyes.
to give you my 24 hours, 7
My
days a week,
Lord.
365
Look up,
days
girl.
to be your servant. If you vote for me, I can assure you that I'll go ahead and have excellence in everything we do, transparency in everything we do. We have service and we have communication. If you will please vote for me, I have not taken any money from anyone because I spend only my money in my own campaign. So therefore, I don't know anything to anyone. And I am here to serve you. With all that, I can tell you that hopefully October the 3rd to October the 30th and on election day, November the 3rd, you can vote for me, your servant, Argelia Miller. Integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. With that goes communication and transparency. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Next is Mr. Eddie Garcia.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Okay, after keeping our community safe for 32 years, working for the Brownsville Police Department and serving on several boards belonging in helping in the policy making at both the state and federal level, I have the knowledge, the temperament, and the integrity
Look at him reading. Look
to
at him
serve
reading.
on the
Look at him reading.
BISD board. Our educators, our staff, they need to be paid fair and
Look at his
meaningful
reading,
wages,
reading.
which will in turn
Reading.
happen when fiscal discipline and fiscal responsibility become key to the board. And that's something that we have been working on and that we will continue to work. In addition, we need to implement
Look at him
curriculum
reading.
uniformity across the
Acá arriba,
district
look up here.
so that each and every student has the same
Stop
level
reading.
of quality education. Furthermore, we need to be more responsive to the needs of our students, educators,
my
and
Lord.
staff when faced with trying
Reading,
times like this
reading,
pandemic.
Reading.
You know, this is extremely important that we need to keep this in mind. The success of our children should be our priority
Reading.
because they are our future. In order to accomplish
Reading,
these important
Reading.
goals, we need a
Reading.
strong, dependable, decisive, united, and last but not least,
Reading.
a reputable board of trustees. My parents instilled in me a strong
Reading.
work ethic and a strong moral ethic.
Reading.
And I hope you vote for me
No.
for BISD trustee,
No.
place 7.
No.
All right, thanks very much. And the next person will be Mr. Carlos Elizondo. You have 2 minutes.
You probably want to mute your mic, Eddie, so you don't interrupt. Thank you. Again, Carlos Elizondo, place 7. I said, number 1, we need to stop this cowardly acts from the current board. We need to step forward, not take a step back, like we've seen in the past, 4 or 5 months with this pandemic and crisis. We need to not only first not be a coward, but also stop blaming everybody else for our mishaps and our shortcomings. We must take the responsibility as ourselves that we made a mistake. We didn't know how we were going to plan to keep everybody safe. We didn't know how we were going to plan to make sure that people didn't die. But unfortunately, it's happened. And that has to be a big problem in this current board's, way of sleeping. Also, we need to give back the step increases that this current board took away from all BISD staffers. They went in there and took away. Instead of giving them and promoting them and saying, you guys have done a great job. We are here to stand behind you.
Shut up, Eddie.
We went out there and we voted against you guys to take your step increases. This has happened with this board. Previous board gave increases and step increases that everybody deserves, and it was taken away now. Not only that, you've also gone out and you retaliated against
Look at
a
her
special
eyes.
group,
Look at her
your counselors,
eyes.
your librarians, your nurses, who are most needed now. Counselors to be able to give back and be able to provide the mental health that these people are going through. These teachers, these diagnosticians, these librarians, these kids, these current people that they work with, their staff members. Give back what was taken away from them is going to be my priority. The safety, the increase in steps, and to make sure that everything that was taken by this current board is given back to them. That is the promise that I stand here before everybody and make sure that it's going to be held. But we need to get rid of the current board members.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll finish up with Ms. Daniela Lopez Valdez.
Read. Look, put up the notes.
Hi, I just want to clarify really quickly that I received a lot of support from concerned citizens
No.
and supporting my campaign.
No.
I will always vote for
Vendors.
what is best for the district,
Vendors.
regardless of any monetary
Vendors.
donation. If you would like, you can also look at my opponent's 2018 finance report. He also
Vendors.
received money from some of the same vendors.
Vendors.
And then I would mostly like to close with saying
Vendors.
I would like to thank Frontera Progressives for hosting this
Vendors.
forum and for what you do to foster progressive ideas and
Vendors.
leadership in our community.
Vendors.
I believe that my experience in working effectively on a team, my familiarity with
Vendors.
working with large budgets, my strong work ethic, and determination will be an asset to the board. As your board of trustee
Reading.
member, I will ensure that the safety and well-being of the
Reading.
students and teachers and the staff are
Stop
the top
reading.
priority. Most importantly, I will work hard to represent the
Oh my
students and
God.
staff of our district with the principles of honesty, integrity, fairness, and public service. Above all things, I will promise you this. When elected, I will serve the district with respect as a role model citizen. I will always finish what I start, and I always value my commitment to the district and to my community. I'm proud to have been endorsed by the Brownsville Educators Stand Together, the Texas
Best.
Valley Educators Associates, the Brownsville Firefighters, Fondo Ahorro Laboral, and Run
Oh,
for
the eyes,
Something,
the
which
eyes.
is an organization that supports young progressive candidates running for local office for the first time. I humbly ask for your
So
vote
did
in
my cat.
supporting leadership for a new generation. I am the best candidate. Thank you,
No, you're not.
and have a great evening.
All
right. Thank you again to all of the candidates for participating in this event. We could have gone on for much longer, I'm sure, but I appreciate your taking the time to help to educate the voters about these important events. As a couple of you mentioned, early voting, it starts next week on Tuesday. It goes from October 13th to the 30th. And then election day is November 3rd. We strongly encourage people to vote early to help spread out the number of voters who will be going to the polling places on each particular day, so people can be more easily spaced out and we can keep social distancing and keep everybody safe. If you do have a mail-in ballot, if you're planning on voting by mail, please try and get that into the mail as soon as you can. We know that there have been issues with the post office delays in delivering mailed-in ballots, and we need to make sure that we get those in. You get those in early so that you make sure that they are received on time. Do what you can to educate yourselves about the candidates that are on the ballot, and we again appreciate your participating in this. Frontera Progressives is hosting one more, actually two more events on Sunday at 1 o'clock. We have one of our own group members who is running for the Brownsville Navigation District, the Port of Brownsville, because we obviously have a horse in that race. We're just offering a forum so that people can hear from Dr. Bill Berg, who's running for that position. And then on Monday, we will have another forum like this with candidates for the Texas Southmost College Board of Trustees. So once again, thank you very much. We've reached the end of our time and actually gone past it a little bit. Thank you very much for participating, and we'll see what the voters have to say. So thanks again.
Oh my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. I love me some forums. Yes, Eddie, sorry, Baba. You were hearing me on my stream. You could have gone to their stream and you would have not heard me at all. Guys, that was fun. I don't know what that is. That was fun. Guys, I'm going to take a break so I can get something to eat. And we'll be back. Did I kick it? Did I kick it? Did I kick it? Did you see how they were sending her little notes, little information? Poor little rich girl, poor little rich girl, poor little rich girl, poor little rich girl. Están locos a little bit. Damn, I was late for the wedding. Blame the Obamacare Act for what their employer. You kick butt. You did good, thank you. Guys, is there any doubt? Do I not disappoint? Honestly. Guys, no one is going to be better at forums than myself. No one. Because I care. She doesn't. She's selling her soul. She's selling her vote. Right now. Right now. It's on my page. I am going to extract those little pieces though. You outdid yourself. Congratulations. Thank you. It was the last forum. Yeah, I saw that. Nope. She looked scared. She was so pissed off at you. Oh, good job, Erasmo and Carlos. Good job. Doesn't get any better than this. Preach. No, bet it up. That's the preach. Guys, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to go get something to eat. If anybody wants to invite me, let me know. Send me a message. I'll be back. We'll be back at 9 o'clock, guys. Thank you, guys. God bless. Thank you for standing by, staying with me. No flies, no flies, no flies. Thank you. We'll need our vote. God bless, guys. I'll be back at 9 o'clock.